Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and today I want to make kind of like a vault door opening kind of deal, like you would see in Fallout, but for my campaign. And what I'm doing is I'm not creating a standard fight. I'm creating a fight that has a condition to win. You have to shut the door to stop the fight, or you have to pretty much just sustain yourself through wave after wave of enemy. So the whole concept of the fight is to get the door shut, but there's other ways to beat it. Because if you leave it just with only one way, you're going to create a ton of problems for your players. So the first thing I need is something to use for the vault door. This is a DC Comics action figure stand that I think would make a good, cool door. Something like that. Maybe, I don't know. It's just a cool idea I had. I have a craft lid I could use too. From, I don't know what. Something crafty. Maybe mustard or not mustard. So anyways, I have some decent sized big doors I can use. All I need is a disc of some sort. You can cut a disc out of anything too. You can use a miniature base, whatever you have. So that's what I'm going to use though, is that. So this is just a piece of from one of those D&D board games. It's a black dragon thing, but all this is the same material that a game board is made out of. It's just a thicker cardboard or cardstock. So I'm going to use that as my base for this, and I'm going to start by building a building that one of my doors will fit on. Maybe I'll use both of those, who knows. But I want a door that swings open, that's what I want. So first let me get a rough idea of what this looks like. So I'm going to get a marker. I'm going to come up here. The bottom of this box is flat because that's where the panel was, so I'm going to use that as my guideline. I'm going to use the width of this 1 inch here as my guide for that. Just like that. Using that same guideline because I know that's flat down there already. Put that to the outside. I'm going to get 1 inch. Just like that. Then I know those are straight edges now. So I'm going to use that straight edge. Cut my top flat. I'm just eyeballing everything. Okay. I need to cut this out. Let me get this little bit of tape stuff off the bottom here carefully, so it sits flat and nice. And let's cut that bottom out. We want this to be a little smaller, so let's come in here, center that the best we can. Find the marker I threw. There it is. It's pretty centered. Okay, we'll cut that out. Okay. Something like that. Now I'd like to sturdy that up. I have this piece of thicker, or well, that's probably not a good thing to use. I have this piece of cardboard here. Maybe I use cardstock actually. Let me get some scissors. Cut some cereal blocks to use for this. Where's that round piece at? I'm going to cut this. Center that. Now I'm going to cut a rim to go around. I'm just cutting this just a little bit off to the inside of that. Nothing spectacular. Oh. Something like that. cut around the outside. Oops. So I hear there's a young man named Dom watching, and Dom, I'd like to thank you. I hear you and your dad watch the videos together. I really like your dad a lot. He's becoming a good friend of mine, and I enjoy his company, and I'm glad that you're with him, and he's sharing my love of the craft and his love of the craft with you. So thanks for watching, Dom. And I was glad to hear that you were enjoying the content. So that's a special thanks to you, my dude. I'm going to come in here on the inside, and I'm going to attempt to cut along there. If you're young and you're not allowed to have sharp scissors, ask your mom or dad or grandpa or grandma or aunt or uncle or your neighbor Ted or whoever the hell you can ask to cut this. I don't want anybody to lose their fingers. I don't make this content for children, but I've more than once heard about younger people watching, so I'm going to try better than I did before to keep my vulgarities to a minimum. But my silliness is unkept, so it stays no matter what. Okay, so now I've made this nice little rim. Just going to add a good bit of detail here. I'm going to get hot glue. Go. No. I'm going to fit that down on there like that. Glue that in place. Cool, cool, cool. Now I'm going to get some thin strips of cardstock. All kind of drama here. Let's pull that off. Pull that off. There we go. Let's get some thin sticks of cardstock to run up and add some more detail on this real quick. I'm just using the natural fold in the box there as my straight edge to enjoy the use of my T, just like that. And I got one, and I'm just going to eyeball those and make them the same-ish. The same-ish is not the same as the same. I'm going to come around here to the outside, make sure those are long enough, put a strip, just like that. Get that on there to the edge the best I can. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be ballpark. Okay. Oh, I'm out of glue stick. Okay. Let me get another glue stick. Or some extra glue sticks anyways, not just one. I'm going to pull this up and just throw a little bit in there. Okay. Snip off my excess. Just like that. Okay, so now we need the walls for this thing, and we need a door. So for the door, it's going to be too easy. We're going to mount this to a piece of thicker cardboard. Snip that off. Okay, we're going to mount this to a piece of thicker cardboard, just like this. We're going to push that down. This is a terrible idea. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what my plan was either. Alright, so I'm going to cut. Where's my cut at? Cut along here. Try to get that off. There we go. Cut out that way. Cut that off. Cut out this way. Cut that off. There we go. We want to leave this piece on for now. Okay. Get in there and cut that the best we can. Get all that off. And we're going to leave this on for now. We're going to cut it out here like this. Cut that out. Cut that out. Then we're going to come down and cut this. Here we go, like that. And that piece sticking out there is going to be how our door locks in. So we're going to get a piece of whatever this crap is. We're going to snip that off. Just like that. Get a thin bead of glue. We're going to stick that on there. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit more glue here. Drag that onto there and sturdy that up. Just like that. Okay. We're going to get our door frame. Make sure that this sits on here like that. We're going to mount that door so that it hinges and opens. Okay. So we need a piece underneath. Where's that thicker cardboard at? Get a piece of this. Just like that. We'll cut 2 pieces to house the hinges. And we'll get those in place like that. And like that. Okay. And me a marker. Okay. One, two, and we'll just get those nice and seated, all permanent like. Dry fit this again, make sure everything's how I want it to be. It's like that. And we need a piece of straw. Okay, so I have a straw here, and all I want to do is get a straw, and I want to snip this. One, scissors would be easier. 2. Okay. So you get your straw in there on that side, and your straw in there on that side. And you put your door back in place again. Just like that. Pull these up so there's a little bit of room to wiggle. You don't want it to be so snug that it's hard to open. Okay. Then we're just going to get a tiny dab of glue to hold that in place for now. A tiny dab of glue to get that in place for now. Okay. We're going to let that cool. Just like that. Okay. Now we know that we don't want those moving around. We want those sturdy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some little pieces of cardstock. About that long. 2 of those. We're going to curl the end of that so that we can stick it down in here and make a sturdy cover for that to hold it in place better. So I'm just going to make this, put a little glue on it, take that angle, shove it down in my hole, up against there, like that, and I'm going to let it sit for a minute. I'm doing the same thing with this one. I'm curving it to where it goes down in that hole, then comes back out. Put a little bit right along the edge here. Okay, just like that. Okay, let them cool. I'd like to throw one more piece across the top to make it look nice, so I'm just going to cut that with this. Well, I'll probably want to make a spot here. Just a little piece across the top. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to throw my glue on it. Okay. Get my piece. Slide into place. Push it down. Snip off my ends. This is the front of my door. Now I'm going to get up in here, get my glue. I'm going to shove this down into place. Firmly holding that hinge forever. Same thing on this side. Firmly holding that hinge forever. Okay. My door opens. This one came loose on the inside. I'm just going to leave it go. It seems sturdy still. And this is my door that opens for this piece. Okay. And it's going to sit on there like that. Nice and sturdy. So let's get the sides of this thing built. So all we need for the sides are pieces of cardboard that are about the same height. And that's easy enough. We just take it from scrap we have. Let me grab a piece of scrap. Alright. So to make the sides, we're just going to take this piece here, draw a line so we know where that is. Okay, we want this to be about 2 inches deep. So this is 1.5 inches, and we'll just add a little bit. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, just ignore me. Okay, this way. This is about 1.5 inches, and then we'll add about 1/2 inch. There's our 2-inch mark there-ish. It's not really good, but it's going to work. I'm going to cut that one. And we're going to use that to make our other mark for the next one. Okay. We're going to get that on there like that. Just glue that right in place. All right. Cool, cool. Something like that. Looks all right. Doesn't have to be perfect. Perfection is not a prerequisite of a good craft, I'll tell you that much. I throw shit together all the time and it looks fine most of it. Get that on there too. Same deal. Get it lined up and in place. Hold it, let it cool. Cool. Alright. Now this one needs to come in a little bit and that one needs to come in a little bit. How we're going to line this up is we're just going to get on here. Super glue or hot glue, hot glue. Hot glue. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to line that up to the back and square that off the best we can. And just let it cool for a minute. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. I'm going to come in here and sturdy this up, so I'm just going to run a bead up on the inside. Run a bead up on the inside along the bottoms. And that'll make it a permanent home. Make sure our door opens and closes appropriately. It does. It looks like it's going to do what we want it to. Cool. Alright, we need a lid for this. We're just going to take a piece of cardboard about the right size. Too small. Just right. Just right. So we're going to take that, line that up. I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger. Try to make that as straight as we can so it looks kind of like a rectangle. And we want to mount this to the top, lining it up with the back side. glue stick. Okay, something like that. Pull that out of my flesh. Ow, that was my knuckle. I hit on the drawer. Something like that. And now we have a pretty good basic idea what this is going to look like. Let's cut this off. Just like that. And let's cut some strips to do some detail work with. And just give this a little bit of interest. There we go. Just like that. And we'll cover up these sides the best we can. I'm only worrying about the top down. I'm not trying to cover the entire side because it doesn't need to be at this point. So we just want to cover up that seam some. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. We're going to be painting it and you're going to see a lot of that disappear. Yeah, that's on my finger, I know. Love those high temp guns. Ow, it's burning me. Sweet. Okay. Pretty good. Let's put this marker away. I lost the lid. It could be anywhere. Awesome. I've lost the lid. I'm just going to throw that marker off to the side and hope I find the lid. Now, we don't want this to look like it's just a freestanding building this large. We want it to look like it's part of a larger structure, but that's going to be difficult to accomplish with what we've set up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up some kind of sides of some sort so that I can match this up against other buildings and it maybe look okay. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create some... I need a square. That's going to look terrible like that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from the outside and I'm going to curve this up and make it junky looking in some kind of shape that I can glue in place. I'm going to fold that down like that. I'm going to get some on the bottom. I'm going to stick that right along the edge as flat as can be, even though it's curved. I'm simulating something. You'll notice in a minute what I'm doing. Okay, once that's in place, I'm going to glue the outside a little bit, sturdy it up. Okay, then I'm going to get some here. I'm going to bend this, shove that on there, let that cool, just like that. Then I'm going to do something similar here. Where's this got to go? Up and over. Okay, so we're going to curve this. Just like that. And attach it in a similar fashion. Okay. Curve it to the front of the building. Curve it around the side there. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to snip off this excess. I'm going to glue this here. Like that. Okay. Just like that. Then I'm going to get these little pieces. A little bit there, a little bit there. I'm just going to fill this up. Cover this hole. With chunks of scrap. I'm going to get this piece here. Go around the outside with that. Just like that. Okay. Little piece of this. Pull that off. I'm going to put a piece here. Just like that. Okay. And one more little piece like that to kind of hide that front part looking chunky. And I'm just going to pull both of those off of here and make it look corrugated because I can. That's definitely going to break up that image and create this false hope that things aren't as terrible as they appear. Do something similar on this side. Get a chunk. Bring it out to the edge. Let it cool for a minute. I'm going to cut some of this off. Let that get set for a moment. I'm going to get a little bit of glue inside here to stir this up. There we go. Just like that. And I'm going to get some glue. Fold this in just like the other one. Okay. Glue that in place. Twist this down. Okay. And then on this side, I'm going to do it a little different. I'm just going to get some glue down here. Like that. And I'm going to shove these pieces into that glue, back up, and create a firm connection. That should be cool. I'm going to do another piece here, starting down there, coming up here. Stick that in here like this, pull it around, fold that in, and hope that sticks. I'm going to get this piece here, shove it on there, and let's get one more piece. Open this up a little bit, expose some of that junk, and shove that on there. Okay. Now let's get some cardstock and some scissors. Let's get some texture on the base to make it a little more interesting. Look, that fit perfect. Didn't even intend it to. Make our ground a little better. Cool. One more piece here. We don't want it to get in the way of the door opening. Let's put that up there. Okay. Okay, just like that. You can't see. Put that on there. A little bit of overhang. No problem. I'm going to put this here. Push that into place. A little bit of overhang. Okay. And we'll do one more down here on the ground, maybe. As long as it doesn't stop the door from opening. Okay. Door's still open, so we're in business. Now, what can we do to make this a little more interesting? Well, we can put like a vault door kind of situation on the front here. I have a small lid. I have some different size of lids. But I think the easiest thing to use would be a poker chip, of which I have a lot of. So I'm going to get a poker chip, put it on the center of that door, just like that. Best I can, as centered as possible. Just like that. Okay. Then let's put a button on there to be like the valve that you see on movies and shit, and on the show and the games. So let's find a small button to put on there to be our valve. And we'll just put a little dot in the center. Like that. Put our valve on there. And that'll be simulating the vault door. And then let's get some random garbage to make this look like it's been buried in time, and the players have done something to awaken it. So I have a piece of straw here that I'm going to stick to the side of this building. I need more glue stick. And we'll stick that there. This will just add some different coolness to it that makes it look a little unique and different. Let's cut some of this straw up. Whoops. And we'll attach this onto the garbage pile on the side. Just like that. Okay. Make sure we get a good bond. Okay. A little bit at an angle. Get that down there. And that's leaning onto the ground. Just like that. And it'll be nice and sturdy that way. We need some pieces of just different debris. I have some sprue here. We can cut some sprue and make some different pieces with that. Far shower. So let's get this piece here. Stick it there. Boop, 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 boop. And we got this piece here. We can just stick that there. And we don't really need that. We'll put that back. Oh, I found that lid. Put on that marker before the marker dies. Okay, something like this. That texture kind of sucks. We could cover it up or we could leave it. I'm going to attempt to do something really stupid. And I'm just going to shove glue on it. Just like that. Just like that. And just like that. Okay. Now we need a blow gun to get rid of all that crap. All the spider webs. Cool, cool, cool. Cooking our spider webs. Okay. Now, to paint this, we're going to need to mount it to something. Easiest thing to do is get 2 paint caps that are the same size. Those are not the same size. These 2 are. Same height. Gloop, gloop, and mount. Now we have good handles to hold on to while we work. Once that cools, you can super glue anything you need to super glue at this point. If you're concerned that the hot glue is not going to be a permanent hold for you or do what you need it to do. I'm going to burn the straw a little bit. Oh, just like that. And just like that. Make them look a little more interesting. I got a little bit of fuzz here. Make sure this is going to paint well. Destroy that a little bit so it has some texture. Booyah. Do a little bit more here. Give it some texture. Ooh, nicely done. So now I'm going to black bomb this. I am going to make this a part 2 because it's going to take a minute for the black bomb to dry and I don't want to rush and have a horrible paint job to deal with. But you see you got room to put miniatures back here. You don't really need to paint the inside. I mean, you can. I'll just probably spray mine black. But this will work nicely because as you're running the fight, you can pop this door open. You know what would be good? A little electrical panel. Let's make a little electrical panel before we call it a win. To make my little electrical panel at roughly character height on that pipe, I'm going to put a little square cardstock, and then I'm going to get those little gem beads I use from those paintings my wife and mom do that I'm always showing you guys. I'm going to get a little piece of cured beard and a little bit of stupid glue. Hello, stupid glue. Nice to see you, dog. Sharp edge. Yep, I need a different poker. Couple buttons on there. 2 might do. Just like that. And then a little teeny screen. Just like this. Little teeny screen. Boop. Oh, lost it. Come on. There we go. Little teeny screen. Just sit on there. Just like that. Okay. So that's our door. Here's a regular size mini. To give you an idea how big this is. So size large minis and maybe bigger can squeeze out of the door. It opens, it closes. You have some neat, decent backdrop here. I wonder if I could afford to, no, I really can't. I wanted to put something there. This is a little plane right here. I'm just going to add one more thing in kind of the way of the door. I'm just going to slide that back and snip off that little bit of extra. And now it looks a little less like that, a little better. You want to get fancy, get a little bit of super glue, add some dirt spots, and you can do that pretty easily. So all I'm doing, see I got super glue there and there. I'm going to get a little bit of baking soda, sprinkle that on there, give that some texture, just like that. Okay, we can do a little bit on the top here. Okay, just get a little baking soda, sprinkle it on there, just like that. A little bit more. All right, shake that off into the trash. And we have some 3D kind of dirt spots that were pretty easy to make too. A lot of things you could do to add texture to this, a lot of things. I do think I'm worried about that being a little bit loose. I'm just going to come back here and get a little bit of more glue. Stick that on so it holds better. Doesn't really change the world if you do or don't. But you can see every little bit you do to fill something in or stir it up can make this thing last for a really long time on a shelf. And for every half-ass effort you do, you can see how it could foil you in the end. So I want something leaking out of this pipe here. Something like that. Yep. Put some in there. Cool, cool, cool. A little bit coming out the end here. Blah, 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 blah. Close the door. All right, cool. I'm going to spray paint this black. We'll come back. We'll paint it up together. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all the happy crappy that makes the channel grow. And I'll see you next time.